Okay. Okay, guys, so this is my first time recording one of our Zoom calls. So welcome if you are watching this later. Tonight we are going over the share guide from the new Empowered Success program. So this one's going to be pretty quick. It's going to be a lot quicker than the Live guide because it's about half as long as the Live guide. The Live guide was a little bit was more detailed, so this should go a little bit quicker. Okay, so once we go through the Live guide and we have our new team members, our new customers, new builders, we want to go through the Live guide with every single person. Right after they get their kit, you want to have a meeting with them to schedule that time, so that way you're going to help them get help them to see how they should be using the oils every single day in different ways they can use it. So the Live guide is important for your new customers. And then once we do the Live guide and they've been using oils for a while, we can transition into the share guide. Okay. So the best thing about the share guide is that at any level within this business, you get to a point where you need to remember the basics. And it's, you know, you get going, you kind of get in the groove, and sometimes you forget what those basics are. So that's been the really great thing about the Empowered Success booklets, is that it reminds you of what those steps are of back to the basics, but it gives you more of a step-by-step guide. Like, here, do this first, and then do this, and then do this. So it's been really awesome. Okay, so we're going to talk about classes for a second, because classes are kind of your classes and one-on-ones, but it's kind of like your bread and butter of your business, is that you want to be meeting with people. Because when you're meeting with people, you're sharing the oils. When you're sharing the oils, you're going to help more people, you're going to expand your business, and you're going to have a little more fun because you're going to have more people who may want to host a class. You'll have more people that will refer people to you, and it builds that momentum with your business. So this sharing book is good for everybody, whether they're new in doTERRA, you know, you've been in doTERRA for a couple of years, but I love the share book. I think it's great. So the first page I'm going to go over, and I'm going to show them to you just like I did in the Live video. This is page 1, and it is sharing comes naturally. But I want to show you the very bottom of it. Can you see that, Janine?
Yep.
Okay.
It's got lines, right?
It's got lines, yeah.
With the numbers, but yeah.
It's got lines. So anybody watching this at home, pull this up on the doTERRA website. It's free on the doTERRA website. They're pretty inexpensive if you want to get a paper copy from back office. You're going to want these paper copies because you're going to want them for your new team members or for yourself. Okay, so it asks you why share doTERRA, and there's three boxes why it says why you want to share doTERRA. You want to help empower others, you want to earn rewards, and you want to create an income. And different ways you can empower others. So it says host a class to introduce your friends and family to doTERRA and help them find a natural solution for their life. Because that's kind of what it's all about, is helping other people. When you're helping other people, you're going to empower them to be able to do things for themselves and do things for their families they never thought that they could. You're going to earn rewards. When you earn rewards, that's fast starts. It's expanding your team, so that means more of a unilevel bonus after the first 60 days. And those people could potentially fill in your power free bonus. So there are lots of ways that you're going to earn rewards from hosting classes, getting more people involved, and creating income. So the long-term income by having more people in your pipeline. So At the bottom of this page, I'm going to show it again. This book is more of an interactive book where you're going to write down, hey, Bob, say name. Baby's going to bed. So you're going
Steph
to
did a good job of going around the back side. I could see him in your TV.
So with this bottom part, I love this because these books are going to be more interactive. So you're going to want to fill them out and you're going to want to do the exercises of them because it's only going to help you. So I know it looks like a bunch of lines, but this bottom part is all your contacts, people who you want to share doTERRA with. And these are going to be people that would want to host a class or host a one-on-one. So people who'd be open to meeting with you, people who'd be open to doing a class. And you write down, and it says, whose lives do you want to change? You write down their name, and then next to it, you can check one-on-one or a class. It's pretty simple. But by putting people's names on paper and getting it down, you're more likely to achieve it. You're more likely to talk to those people to help them get a class, get a one-on-one set up. And whether you're local or not so local to me, we can do classes, you know, in the Roseburg, Sutherland area. We can even do classes on Zoom like this. It's super simple. We can just get your people together, whether you're, you know, different parts of Oregon, other states. We can get everybody together on Zoom and we can make it happen. Okay, so the next part is inviting. Like, how are you going to invite people? And sometimes when we're thinking, okay, I know some of you haven't held a class yet, so you're kind of thinking, okay, what do I say? Or how do I invite people? What if they say this? What's the right thing to say? Okay, so I'm going to show you this next part. This next page is 3 steps to invite. And it pretty much tells you exactly what to say for product education classes. And then the blue part, it's for business classes. So let me give you an example. So step 1, there's 3 steps. So step 1 says share an experience. And they'll tell you right below it something you can say. So one thing it says to say, are you open to trying something natural? And then it gives you some examples. You share an experience of how the products have helped you. And then it gives you an example of something you could say. You could say it verbatim. That's why it's there. And then you can ask permission to share a sample and commit them to use it. So people have been really torn about samples. We've had classes and trainings on, do we do samples? Do we not do samples? Do they work? Well, it depends on the situation. In general, samples have not worked for me and have not worked for a lot of people, but they have worked in a controlled environment. So for example, if you have a friend and you've been talking about oils and they're interested, they would like to try a little bit before they commit to purchase a bottle, then I would give them a sample, and here's what I would do. You commit them to use it. So say, if I gave you a sample of Serenity, will you use it tonight? And can I call you tomorrow to ask how it worked? So if you're going to give a sample, don't just give a sample blindly and say, oh, here you go, try this and see if you like it. Because you're not giving them a commitment. Where if you say, hey, I have this sample, if I give it to you, will you, and you have to get them to commit to something. So say, will you use this tonight? And can I call you tomorrow to see how it worked? And then it's important to give permission to follow up. That way they know that you're going to follow through. So it's kind of a 2-part thing. So if you ask them to follow up and to commit to something, and you want to call them back, then you got to hold up your end and say, hey, I will call you tomorrow to see how that was. Second one is to invite. So invite them to learn more. Are you open? Here's a good example is, are you open? That is a phrase that works really well because when you start seeing, and it's psychological, when you use the word, are you interested, people are automatically turned off. They hate that word because everybody uses it and it doesn't spark a good connection. And then it's complete psychological. So you want to use other words other than interested. Interested is a dead word. You do not want to use that word because you will turn off more people with just that word alone than any other word. So you can say, are you open to? Like, are you open to trying something natural? And if we're inviting, are you open to learning more?
Amber?
Yeah?
Do you find that another way of doing that is to actually just set them down and use the oils on them and then ask them later on, check back with them and say, how did that make you feel? And then, hey, we can do this again if you want, or even, because I did that just the other day at work last week, and I just didn't know, I haven't had a chance to follow up with her yet, but it was a fellow teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Subbing for me, and she was complaining that she was starting to get a migraine. I said, "Oh, are you willing to let me try something on you?" I happened to have everything there. I had the the past tense,
Mm-hmm.
and the deep blue and frankincense.
Yeah, well, that's
migraines. And I did that to her, and later on when I came back, she goes, "Oh, I want to know some more about that stuff."
That's perfect, because so instead of you sending her home with the sample to have her try her own, you did it for her. You're like, right. And you're perfect. Are you willing to try something? That's a different way of saying, hey, are you interested in this? You see, are you willing to try this? Are you open to try this? So you get them to commit to something just by your verbiage, and then, but you gave her a sample, but you just did it right there in person. And then she's like, oh my gosh, that worked so amazing. I have to know more. There's your hook. You have her, once she has an experience that this stuff is amazing, this stuff completely helped me, then she's going to want to learn more. So that leads you right into the next step, which is invite them to learn more. So you could do, so with this teacher, you could do a one-on-one, you could do a group setting with a couple of teachers into a class. You didn't even have to ask her if she was open to learning more because she told you, hey, I want to know more. So that's a perfect example of how you don't necessarily have to give them a sample and put control in them completely. If they're there with you, you have oils, put it on them. Say, hey, are you open? Are you willing to try this? Like, hey, I have something that can help you. Are you willing to try this? And then give it to them right there and say, hey, I'll check back with you later and see how you feel. And then when you check back with them, you'll hear how it worked. And 9 times out of 10, they will be just oozing about how amazing it was, or how much better they feel, or how much it helped. And then, especially
for like her, she was not wanting, she's prone to migraines, and she hates the way that the migraine medicine makes her feel. And so she could feel it coming on. I said, and then I did that. I said, are you willing to let me try this? And she happened to be in my teacher chair because I was getting ready to walk out of the building. I was doing stuff over at West. Put the deep blue on her back, across her shoulders, and put the past tense across her forehead. Gave her a drop of the frankincense on her thumb and said, hold it on the roof of your mouth for a minute. We can do more if you want, but I think one should do it. And I said, I'll see you in a bit. And I came back literally about 2.5 hours later and asked her, she said, oh my gosh, usually I have to start my meds by now. And she goes, I don't know that I'm going to have to. And so I was like, awesome. And then later on, she goes, I'm really interested. She had to leave because she has a new grandbaby. So she was needing to leave to get ready for her trip that she's leaving today for. But yeah, it was quite interesting. And that was a different approach I have taken rather than handing out samples. I've done that 3 different times with 3 different people with the past tense now. They said, oh, I've got a headache. Hey, are you willing to try something? Put it on them, and they've even came back and said, you know that stuff you used on me? Can I get it again? I'm getting a headache. And because I happen to have it at the school. So, yeah.
Did you notice that your different approach seemed to work better?
Yep,
I did. It's funny how you change a few words or change some of your verbiage, And it sounds weird. It's complete psychological. Now, just changing a few of your words really does make a difference. And the nice thing is that you already have a good group of people that have tried it because you put some on them, and so they know it works. They know they want more. So now for you, it's just going to be the step of doing a one-on-one or getting them together in a group, educating them on what the oils are, where they come from, and basically how to get their own oils.
Right.
And why, and the big one is why they should get their own oils, because you know the benefits of it, because you're getting the benefits of your own oils and the points and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're inviting people to learn more, just like we mentioned, we can do a presentation, we can do it live, we can do it online, we can do classes, one-on-ones. There's so many ways that you can get in front of people and just talk to them, educate them. I mean, we can really utilize Facebook Lives, utilize Zoom like this. So there's lots of ways that we can utilize this if we can't get together in person. So here's, and I love this because the verbiage is so wonderful. So here's one thing it says. It says, are you open to learning more about essential oils and natural ways of caring for yourself and your family? And then you just listen to what they say, the response. Say, I'm having a class on this date, this time, or we can meet together next week. What works best for you? And then you get permission to remind them about their class or their appointment or whatever, and just say like, hey, if you're like me, you'll appreciate a reminder. Can I give you a call or text you to remind you the day before the class? And a big one, it's if you have a lot of people in a group setting, I know it's so much easier and convenient to just send out a mass text message on Messenger, on Facebook, on your iPhone, whatever, but avoid mass emails and texts at all costs, because you are just going to irritate people, and if they're irritated about something simple like that, it's not going to be a good experience and they won't show up. So email, text people one-on-one to give them their reminders. And then number 3, remind them to come. So you want to remind them like, hey, we're excited to see you. Come ready to learn. So when you come ready to learn, there's one big thing that sets the tone for this, is that these are classes. When you're hosting an event, you're hosting a class. It's not a party. It's not, I don't even know what other fun things you can call it. It's a class or it's an event. The reason why is because when you host parties, you aren't getting value out of it. And because people are coming for parties, they're expecting to get, free stuff or get fed, but they're not leaving expecting to get value out of it. With a class, people will come to get value out of it, and you instill value in what you're doing when you refer to what you're doing as a class or an event. Because then people are going to come prepared to learn, knowing it sets you up for success, and it sets expectations accordingly when people know what they're coming to. So you can remind them, like say, hey, excited to see you, come ready to learn. And you could even say, hey, bring a notepad and a pen in case you like to take notes. So reminding is something that I need to work on personally, and it's something that is so helpful. And I have noticed personally within my own appointments that if I remind people 24 hours before their appointment, they are so much more likely to keep their appointment. And I will have so many less cancellations if I remind them about their appointment. So you can call or text. The book says 48 hours beforehand, which you can do 48 hours beforehand. I tend to do 24 hours beforehand. Either way, whatever is your preference. And And so one thing that it gives me an example you can say is, I'm so excited to see you. We're going to love learning some great ways to take care of your family naturally. Feel free to bring a friend and get a free gift. So something like that is you can make it fun. You can make it anything you want to be. So if you tell people, if you bring a friend, you'll get a free gift. And that free gift does not have to be anything expensive. In fact, you want it to be very inexpensive. And some easy ways that you can make an inexpensive gift is, if you have the book, I Am Fabulous. It really is a fabulous book. It is written by a doctor of Oriental medicine. And the book is full of these incredible blends. And I'm telling you, every single one of those blends will do pretty much what it says it's going to do. And you can make up a couple of blends, and you can have that book there and say, hey, as a free gift for bringing a friend, here is a selection of blends. You could, make a couple of them, and then say, okay, here's the blends, and here's a little description of what that blend is for. And you can make up the blend, put some FCO in it in a roller bottle, and that little sample bottle or roller bottle, whatever, probably cost you like $4 or $5, maybe, give or take, maybe a little bit more. But if you think about that, $4, $5, $8 investment could lead to an enrollment. It could lead to a forever customer. It could change someone's life. It could bring you a business partner. So don't be afraid to give little gifts when you bring more people, because that just brings more people in front of you. That's more exposure, and it just creates momentum. So there's lots of little fun things like that you can do just to get people involved and give people an incentive. And let's see. So, and then there's examples. So what I'm reading here, I'm just reading, they have some, that's just what I'm kind of reading off of in the booklet.
I'm staring at it.
Okay. And then they have for the business side. So you want to host a business class, then it's got some verbiage for a business class. So after you connect with somebody in person, online, over the phone, you could ask them, are you open to additional ways of creating income? And then very seldomly people will be like, no, I don't want to create more income. They might say something like, well, yeah, I kind of would be, but time is an issue, or yeah, but this, or yeah, but this. So and then at that point, you can share with them what your vision is. Like, what is your vision for your why? Like, what is your why for doing this business? What is your why for wanting to create a little extra income? And it doesn't have to be a full-time business. It doesn't have to be, like for me, I'm doing this full-time because our goal is to replace income. But if you just want to pay for your oils, if you just want supplemental income, there's all sorts of different levels for pursuing this as a business. And the nice thing is that you have such a great team structure to help you along the way. I mean, you have, that's why I really like the way the compensation plan is set up, because and the culture within doTERRA is it creates this really great, loving friendship base that everybody's going to help each other, because there's no gain by being cutthroat in this business. Is that by me helping anybody on my team, it will come back to me, tenfold. But still is that no one person's success is going to be based on them. It's based on how they help other people. And so doTERRA has a really unique and really special culture within itself that kind of helps to encourage that vision of a loving community of people who want to be healthier, that want to help change people's lives, but also want to help others in the process. Doesn't matter, whose team they're on. I've trained other people who are in other teams, not even on my team, Not even on Sandy's team. I have some friends I met at one of the doTERRA events, and we've collaborated together doing some of the things. One of Seth's friends that he served with his mission, him and his wife do doTERRA. They're also silvers, and so we've collaborated together too. I mean, we're on completely different teams. We're nowhere even on the same path, but you know what? It has helped both of us to say, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's what our team structure looks like. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what my team structure looks like. So there really is some amazing opportunities you can have within the business, and the culture just perpetuates it. And so we want to invite them to learn more about the doTERRA opportunity. You say, are you open to learning how to create additional income with doTERRA? You can offer options. What is the best time to connect? Monday or Wednesday, morning or evening? So you want to maintain control of the conversation. The best way to do that is to give two choices, just two choices. You may have your entire schedule full, open for the entire week, but pick 2 days, two options. So you can start morning or evening, and then from there, they could say evening. Okay, would Monday evening at this time or Wednesday evening at this time? The easier you make it, then the more likely they will just make a decision, because you've taken the challenge and the task out of their hands. Because then if you say, well, what works best for you? Then they'll sit here and think, well, I have this going on this day, and oh, I don't know about this time, and so it's kind of stressful. You can easily stress out somebody, and then they're more likely to get frazzled, be like, oh, I don't know, I'll call you and let you know.
I'll
But
put
if you
some stuff on it.
take out the stress in that and just make it super simple for them, and just say, hey, this time or this time, and then they can think, oh, wait, I can do that time. You keep it simple for the other person, and they're going to be more likely to engage with you. And if they, like, for real cannot do either one of those times, they'll be like, oh man, I really can't do either one of those times. Then say, hey, okay, you know what, I have this time also available. Does that work better? So you can work with them, but give them two options. But keep control of that conversation, because it will help it run so much smoother. And it makes it easier when you can take the pressure off of the other person. And then same thing, whether you're sharing the business or sharing the products, remind them around 24 hours beforehand, and see the same thing. Hey, I'm with the business, I'm excited to connect and explore possibilities with you, because that's what the business part is about. It's about exploring possibilities, because those possibilities look different for every person. So so that's the 3 steps to invite. Okay, so the next page is how to share anywhere, anytime. So for a lot of you guys, this is super basic, but you know what? I really need to go back to basics, because I'm reading through this stuff and I'm like, yes, I need to do more of this. Like, why am I not doing more of this? So I'm going to show you the share anytime, anywhere page. And FYI, for those who are coming on later, this is available for free on the doTERRA website, or you can purchase them in your back office, and they're pretty inexpensive in your back office, so you're going to want to get your hands on a couple of packages of these for your team members or your new customers. So one way that you can share the oils is share your story, and everyone's story is so personal and so unique and so special that and it doesn't have to be something like super huge or tragic or whatever. I mean, my story does tend to be pretty unique. It's kind of dramatic is how I got into the oils. But you don't need to have a dramatic story to make an impact. all you have to do is just share your experiences, because your experiences are your story, and that's what makes it special. That's what makes it personable, is that it's your story, it's your experiences, and it's how the oils have changed
All right,
my
love.
life.
Love you.
So the next one is share an oil experience. If you had a really good experience with Serenity, then tell someone about it. Tell someone how it works. I just say probably the number one thing I see people post about on Facebook is they don't sleep. That is, I see people post about that all the time. Is, oh, I can't sleep. Oh, I'm still up. It's 3 a.m. Or, oh, this. And sometimes you just want to be like, here, Serenity, here, and shake a bottle of Serenity soft gels right in front of their face. You know, I know we're all doing that internally, but that might be, you know, if you feel inspired, you could tell somebody personally. I would not do it on their Facebook page. If you decide to message them directly, you could do that. But you know what? Let me share an experience I had recently. And I actually shared the oils with two new friends that I haven't shared the oils with before. Not in a setting like this. But I had two friends. We were at our kids' family fun night, and the kids are playing in one of the little dancing activities. And both my friends have children that are within the autism spectrum, and they were both talking about how their children have anxiety, how they suffer, they have challenges, and they have to take medications for it. Or one of my friends said that her child is too young to take the medications, and the other one said that the side effects are terrible. And I'm not even kidding you. One of them actually said, I wish there was something I could give them that's not going to harm them with the side effects. Like verbatim. And I'm sitting there, like, I swear, I think my mouth probably dropped to the ground. And at the same time, it broke my heart. Because, I mean, I've been very fortunate and blessed that our children my children are healthy. So we've never had those types of challenges. But to hear two of my friends who have challenged their children say pretty much the similar thing, and say verbatim, I wish there was something I could give my child. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have to tell this person, because this would change their life. This would change their child's life. And I don't use an expression lightly, but I swear to you, these things, these oils, they will change someone's life. And I reached out to both of my friends personally on Facebook. I didn't do it at this school event because I didn't feel like it was the right place to do this at a school event. All the kids are running around, they're bouncing all over the place, and I knew I would not have their attention if I tried to talk to them out there. So the next day I private messaged them and I said, hey, you know, I said, I would not be a friend to you if I did not tell you this, because it broke my heart to hear you guys talk about how you struggle with your children. I have to tell you about this. And I kind of let open with that, and I said, I have something I would like you to try, and I would like to give you a sample of it if you're willing to try. And my friend responded, she's like, that is probably one of the sweetest things that you were so concerned and loving for me and my child that you would think of us. And that hit me that that your approach, that my approach was, you know, I listened to my gut. I listened to what my gut was telling me, and that approach in that moment was exactly what my friend needed, what that mom needed. And like, thankfully, you know, both of them have used an oil here or there, but they've never really known how to use them consistently, or known why to use them, or why one oil is better than the other. And so I told them both, I said, why don't you come over? We'll let the kids play. let the kids have some snacks, whatever, and we'll try out a few things, and I'll show you what the oils can do, and I'll show you which ones would be good for your child and how to use them and why to use them. And they both were like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's get together. And so I'm getting together with one this week and with one next week. And it's going to be a fun play day because the kids are going to play and we're going to talk oils. But both of these moms were equally touched and impressed that somebody came to them and say, hey, you know what? I care about you enough as a friend that I have to tell you.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you how this is going to help. So sharing an oil experience is really powerful. It can be extremely powerful. And the way you share them makes a difference. And same thing with sharing a sample. We kind of went over a little bit about sharing a sample, what that looks like, how you should do it, and even if you choose to do it. Yeah?
Quick question.
Yes.
Because I had somebody reach out to me that is a parent and actually ordered some oils. And I have not had a chance to reconnect and ask her, how's it going? Do you find that after they purchased it, that the important thing is to make sure you're connecting with them and make sure they're using it consistently? Because I think sometimes people will have a tendency to try an oil for a day, like 3 days, and then say, oh yeah, and then or they'll try it a day or two and then forget for a couple of days and then go back to it, and they're not realizing that consistency is important.
And that's where, so that's where the continuing education and the follow-up is so crucial and key, is because a lot of people don't realize, yes, you do this every day. Yes, you have to be super consistent. Otherwise, you won't get the results you're looking for. So some people think about it like, okay, here's a good example. So, and what most people can relate to this is that if you have a headache and you decide to take, I don't know, Advil or whatever, if Advil doesn't work, or if you take one Advil and doesn't work, what are you most likely going to do? You're either going to take more Advil or you're going to go to Excedrin. You're going to try something else. And then if that doesn't work, you're either going to take more of that or go to something else. It's the same thing with oils, that you have to be consistent. And the only way people are going to know how to use the oils and why they need to use them that way to see the results that they need is if we tell them and if we teach them. Right. So that's why the continuing follow-up is important, because they may not be seeing results. And so they're like, oh, no, I'm not going to use it anymore.
Got something for you. Yeah.
The reason why it may not be working is because they don't know that, oh, I have to use this every day, or, oh, I have to use it every couple of hours, or, oh, once a day is not going to cut it.
Right.
So that's why, like, keeping up with them and following up with them is so key, because the main reason why people stop using oils is because they don't know how to use them, and they don't know they need to use them every day. And so that's a big one.
And I think that's one of the things that I fail the most in, to be honest with you, is that follow-up.
And sometimes the best way to remember how to do follow-ups is get like a small, just like a doTERRA planner of some kind, and write down who you talk with oils with that day. And then the next day in your planner, you can be like, oh, okay, I need to check off this person, this person, this person.
Right.
So that way it just kind of keeps those few people fresh in your mind, because it's funny. You think that you won't forget, but pretty soon.
And you do.
But pretty soon.
We're human.
You forget. I mean, even if you have like 2 or 3 people to follow up with, you get busy. Life happens. You're at work. You're making dinner. You're taking care of kids, or whatever.
Okay,
and you get busy. You forget. It's
right.
So some ideas of some samples you can carry with you is, so that's really popular, is the keychain, an essential oil keychain, where you can keep some sample bottles with you. Keep some sample bottles with you. And something like that, if you have peppermint on hand, you can give someone a little drop of peppermint in the palm of their hand if they're having, breathing issues, or if they're stuffy, congested. They have a quick peppermint experience and it opens up their airway and their breathing. Then you have their attention. Some little guides that are actually really, really great to have. I have mine ordered and I don't have them yet, but it's called Healthy Can Be Simple, and it's on the back office. It's that book, and it's a small little handbook, and it's kind of like the pre-book to the Empowered Success booklets. It's kind of like showing them why they should get involved with a natural solution. Okay, so then next page is some sampling success. So for me personally, sampling has only been successful if it's in a controlled way. Just handing samples here and there is never successful. I've never been successful with samples at like booths or events, because at booths or events, people are coming, they're not engaged in doTERRA long term because it's a wellness choice. And
Sometimes it takes a
the
little
only
bit.
time I've really had really good
Hey, good night.
sampling has been when it's controlled. So I do, and even from some of the trainings that I've seen and watched, is sampling is successful, but you have to have control over the environment that you're sampling with. So if you're at a class, you're hosting a class, and you talk to the person and you give them a sample of whatever, and either you put it on them right then and there. So sometimes at classes, when I do classes at the house, I'll invite people to take off their shoes and socks and get comfortable, because I want to put oils on your feet. Some people are all like, oh yeah, heck yeah, I'm taking off my shoes and socks, I'm putting oils on my feet. Some people are much more reserved and they're like, no, that's okay. And that's okay. I'll say, okay, no, just, you can leave your socks on. And if you want to put oils on your feet, you're welcome to. If not, you can put some on your hands or the back of your neck, wherever you feel comfortable with. But the best way to share the oils and have a good sampling experience is to put oils on them. So you get together with them, you have a class of a one-on-one, get oils on them. Because it's funny when you have a class environment and you have that one person who is just a bottle of stress, and you can feel it. You can feel it in the room. And I did this with one of my friends, and it was really funny, and everybody noticed it. It was so cool. I told her to come sit in the chair, and I said, I'm gonna put some oils on your feet, and she's like, oh heck yeah, girl, here's my foot, you can rub it down. And I'm like, okay. So I knew how she was feeling. I could see it and I could feel it. And I asked her a few questions. I said, do you feel stressed? Do you feel anxious? And she was kind of like an open book. She's like, yeah, I feel like this, I feel like this, I feel like this, and I feel like I'm a squirrel when it comes to things running around in my brain. I'm like, perfect. I know exactly what oils you need. So we put on a little balance, a little elevation, and a little vetiver, and everybody in the room watched this person just took her down about 10 notches. And she's sitting in the chair, and probably after about 5 minutes, she's like, whoa, I can feel the difference. And I can think so clearly, and I can focus on things. She felt that difference within minutes, and everybody saw it because they saw how she was acting. She was so mellow and just so calm. Everyone noticed it. They're like, whoa. So having an experience when you get together with somebody is really powerful. So that's a really great way to sample the oils, is sample them with somebody, so that way you can kind of maintain control of the experience. And if you do that, you can kind of help guide the experience. So that's what I mean by having control over it, is you can help guide the experience. Because sometimes if you hand it off to somebody and say, here you go, you lose that that ability to guide the experience. So and then at the bottom of this page, it says share your story. So sometimes people are like, well, I don't know what my story is. Like, yeah, I use the oils for this, or yeah, I use the oils for this. I don't know what my story is. So this is your chance to get your thoughts and ideas on paper, and this is going to help you to create your story, to realize what your story is. Because your story's already been created, you just have to realize what this is. So here's the part of sharing your story. And it asks you, what led you to doTERRA? What are some concerns you or your loved ones are dealing with? What frustrations did you experience? What positive experience have you had with the oils? What products did you use? How have doTERRA products changed your life? What was your life before? What is your life like now? Because that's the best thing you can do, is you can say, you know what, before I came to find essential oils, I was like this, I was like this, I was struggling with this. And you can describe what your life was like before it. And then what is your life like now? How is your life different? How is your life better? And those little things may not be significant to you, but if you think about it, like for me personally, using oils compared to where I was before and after, it has fundamentally changed the way I function. And because it has fundamentally changed the way I function, it has allowed so many amazing things to happen in my life that would not have happened otherwise. I can tell you honestly, if it wasn't for the oils, I would not have my fourth child, because I would not have been able to emotionally handle one more child, let alone go through the challenges of pregnancy. And I had challenges with him with my last one anyways, because he was a preemie, he was a NICU baby. So I had extra challenges there, and I was able to handle them by myself. You know, my husband worked, we had 3 other kids, so there was definite challenges that came in my life since having oils, but I can guarantee you that I would not have been able to have those extra experiences. I would not have my 4th child if it wasn't for the oils in my life every day showing up. So this will help guide your own personal story and help bring it out so you know what your story is. And once you know it and you see it on paper, it's going to make it so much easier for you to be able to share it with others. Okay, so next step is hosting presentations, hosting your classes, because that's what you want to do. You want to get in front of people. You want to be hosting your classes. You want to be hosting your one-on-ones. You want to be getting in front of people. You want to be hosting presentations. So we've already gone over the many different ways you can host classes, one-on-ones, classes, online, like on Zoom right now, and how to prepare. So you invite people to meet at a time and location. You'll give them a reminder, call, or text 24 hours beforehand. And even some people think you can even do it a couple of hours beforehand. And just say something quick, like, can't wait to see you. Leave it simple like that. Like, hey, we'll see you in a few hours. Can't wait to see you.
I like the way they've made it a little timeline at the bottom of that page.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Guys, they literally have made this so super easy. It basically tells you, you start planning here, here's what you do this day, here's what you do this day, here's what you do this day, here's what you do this day. They have made it so simple. Yeah, so day 1, you share an experience. Day 3, you follow up and invite them to learn more. And then you send a reminder 24 to 48 hours. Then a 2 to 4 hour reminder. Host a class. And then after they enroll, then host a lifestyle overview after their kit arrives. So it gives you a step-by-step on what it should look like. And even a section in the center is how to prepare for a class. Doesn't matter if it's online, doesn't matter if it's live. It tells you an ideal class size. And other tips, how to create an atmosphere for learning that's comfortable. You know, eliminate distractions. It does say on here, a clean, child-free environment is best for learning. That is true. I mean, I have kids, and you know what? If we have to have kids sometimes we do. I do, when I host classes, I make sure my kids are not here. I'll send them off with the grandparents, send them off with my husband, but I make sure that my children are not around when we're doing classes because they are. I love my kids, but they are a distraction. They're a distraction to everybody. And you want to create an environment that's best for learning. So, you know, clean up the living room, put the toys away, send the kids off with dad or grandma, and you know, have a fun and inviting environment. And you know, have pens and pencils available. Be diffusing uplifting oils like citrus bliss, wild orange, peppermint. You know, you can have some water. You can have some refreshments. You can make it whatever you want. But make it inviting, make it comfortable. And then the last page, I think it's the last page. Oh, sorry, just kidding. Second to last page is what is your part? So what is your part in the presentation? And for business, for products, and what do you do? What do you say? How do you say it? So the first part, I'm going to show you this page. A bunch of words, a bunch of lines. And then the bottom part is the presentation part. So this part goes over edify and share, invite to enroll, then follow up to support. So edify and share. So if you're gonna have somebody else who is presenting for you and you're not the presenter, it doesn't matter that almost edify the presenter. So you would talk a little bit about the presenter, maybe say like how long they've been in doTERRA. You know, they've had some amazing experiences with doTERRA. They've learned a lot. You know, describe the presenter a little bit and kind of like talk them up, give them a little bit of a hype. You can do that for about a minute or two, and then you could share a personal oil or product experience, and then if you are the presenter, you're gonna learn how to teach others about the doTERRA products. Probably not. And then invite to enroll. So you're going to support the guests in getting enrolled with the kits, helping them to receive the bigger discounts, the best value, and just help. You're going to walk through that process with them. The best way is to do the process yourself and do it side by side with them. So as you're doing it, you can sit down and show them and explain to them every step of the way. It's like, okay, here's the discounts on these kits. Here's what you can get with this kit, and just be that support person, because for me, I do not encourage people to go sign up through my link. In fact, I almost never give it out. I always tell people, if you want to get started, come to me. We will set up a time to get together, and I will walk you through it, and I will get you started. Because there's too many, like, not even kidding you, just about every time somebody has found my link and has gone through my link, they did something that was not ideal, or they got set up, but then they didn't realize they might have done this thing wrong, or they didn't get the kit. And so I'm just like, no, come to me. I will get you started. I'll get you set up, and I will explain why this kit, why this option, why the LRP, and what free items you're going to get from it. And they can't get that education if you're not doing it with them or doing it for them, the enrollment process. And then follow up to support. So follow up with the guests who did not enroll within 48 hours. And you can remind them of any special offers. So an example it gives here in the book is, I'm so glad you were able to join us. What did you enjoy most? How do you feel the oils could help you and your family? Which kits would benefit your needs? Do you have any questions for me? Would it be okay if I showed you how to get started? So those are some things that you can ask them. You can do a combination of that, and then but you're doing the same thing. You're asking them to commit. Would it be okay if I showed you how to get started? How do you feel the oils could help you and your family? So you're asking them to think about how they would implement the oils into their family. And when they start thinking about how they're going to do that or how they could do that, it starts to get them thinking about, why not? Why would I not want to help my family sleep better? Why would I not want to get rid of the anxious feelings in the house? And then with the business side, you're going to do a lot of the same thing for the edify and share portion in the very beginning. You're going to introduce and edify, uplift, provide value to the presenter if it's somebody else. If it's you, then you're going to do the same thing for yourself. You're going to introduce yourself and just say, hey, you know what? I've been studying and researching essential oils for X amount of time. Like for Janine, she say I'm a special education instructor. She can go on with all of her specialties and say, hey, you know what? And I've personally seen experiences in the classroom. So you have different ways that you can edify yourself. Daisy has so many experiences with oils with her husband's sickness that, I mean, she has so many powerful experiences. There's been several times where I've told people like, hey, Daisy, can I connect you with this person? Because your protocols and your stuff that you have down like anybody's business, like I don't know that. And so everybody has their little knack that it's a way that you can edify yourself and share your experiences. And so with the business, you're gonna invite the prospects to partner with you in this business, in this opportunity, and then commit them to do the 3 steps to launch, which 3 steps to launch is in the launch guide. And then you can invite them to enroll as a wellness advocate and how to get started with that. And the same thing with the product. You follow with guests who didn't commit within 48 hours, encourage them to consider partnering with you in this business, and offer support on how they can reach their financial goals. And the 3 steps to launch is in the build guide. Sorry, I skipped over the build guide. And because each one of these booklets transitions into the next, the last page of every booklet is a really smooth transition into the book that's going to follow it. So this is the share guide. So the very last page is a transition into the build guide. So I'm going to see if you guys can see this. I'll zoom in on it. So this last page shows how you can change more lives. And it talks a little, just a little tidbit about the fast start, a little bit about the power of 3, just some really brief, quick little tidbits about the compensation and why not help more people. And explain like, hey, sharing is rewarding, how you can earn your products for free. That gives a little diagram of the fast start bonus, the power of 3 bonus, and a little bit of the qualifications, what you need for that. How you can earn, how you get extras for people who purchase through you, and then a little bit on how it can change your future. And then it says, schedule your business overview. So this page is a wonderful transition into the next booklet, which is the business booklet, which is the business overview. So so that's it. That's the whole share guide. It is a whole whopping 7 pages. So the live guide is twice as thick as this. So this is pretty thin. The next one, the build guide, is just about as thin. but that does not mean it is not packed with lots of powerful information. So that's kind of a quick overview of the share guide. So I encourage all of you to get a package of these. I think they are. I think they're like. They're less than $10. I think they're like. Gosh, I can't remember, and I just got them not that long ago. But I know it's a pack of 20 is like less than $10. So it's a good value. They're great to have on hand, and you want to get these in your people's hands. I mean, the Live Guide. Every single person that you sign up should have the Live Guide, and anybody who is considering wanting to do a class needs to have one of these. If they commit to doing a class, they need to have one of these. And don't be afraid to ask people to host a class. Even if you think they may not have an interest in the business aspect of it, which they really don't need to yet, but you can just say, hey, you know what, would you be open to hosting a class? And here's something that you will get for hosting a class. You can say, hey, I'll give you a free oil for hosting a class, or you can give them the shares bonus, which is 10% of the fast starts, or half of the fast starts technically. And so you can say, okay, you know, I will give you 10% of all the enrollments, all the new members that come from your class. And it's your business, so you can make it whatever you want. You can say, hey, as a thank you for hosting a class, I'll give you this. And then if our enrollments are between this value and this value, you get this. If it's between this value and this value, you can get this. You can make whatever you want. You can. It's your business. You can make whatever kind of incentive program you want to for people who host classes. But don't be afraid to go to one of your new team members or any one of your existing team members and be like, are you open to hosting a class? I would love to share this with your friends and your family, especially since you have had such a great experience with the oils. It'd be a great and fun way that we can get together and help people through a natural solution. So don't be afraid to ask people if they're open to hosting a class, because it's not a scary thing. It might seem like it at first, and I promise you, for those who feel out of their comfort zone, asking people to host a class or even hosting one of your own, it gets easier. I promise. It's fun. I promise. It may not seem like it at first, but hosting classes will absolutely give you the momentum you want. So, Janine, do you have any questions?
No, I didn't know those were available for free. So that's kind of cool, because if you're thinking about it for yourself, you can read through it before you can decide if you want to buy them, which is cool.
Yeah, so they are free for yourself to go look online.
Right.
I don't know how it works with printing them off. I don't know if it's just like page by page, you can print them off individually.
I think it would probably print, because I was looking at it, comes as a PDF when you pull it up. And so if it comes up as a PDF, it probably prints
page by page. Okay. So that's something you could do, and for yourself. I know it would not be cost effective if you wanted to print them off.
No, it wouldn't.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I've had to do this short term when we were hosting an event, and we ran out of booklets of like one of our natural solution booklets, and I had to go to Staples. I had to take one of my last booklets, go to Staples, and go get copies made of this booklet. And for half of the amount of booklets that I could have bought from doTERRA, I spent twice as much. So
oh yeah.
Trust me, it's so much more cost effective to just buy them from doTERRA, and they're neatly bundled. They look beautiful.
Right.
They're nice.
I could see where like the Live one would be very much beneficial for, like you said, anybody that's new enroller. You can give that to them and give them nice little reading material, and then you can go from there to and then probably the share if once they start showing an interest in wanting to host or expand themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, it really outlines on how important it is to use the oils every day, because so many people don't think about it as something that they should use every day, or what are the benefits of using oils every day. And
Right.
the Live Guide is nice because it really outlines that, so people see, oh, this is something that's an everyday thing. This is something that you can do throughout the day, and why you would use it for those different levels in the lifestyle pyramid, like how you'd use it for your eating, your exercise, your rest and sleep management, toxic load. There's all sorts of ways to use them. So yeah, I mean these guys have been so instrumental to have on hand. Even for me so far, I think I've only had them on hand for probably about I bought them right after I came home from leadership, so gosh, I would probably have had them like not even 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. And they've already, with the appointments I've had so far, they've already proven themselves definitely worthwhile and definitely worth the investment into them. Even though the investment's not very huge, I mean, it's absolutely worth it.
We have to give the American public a guarantee.
So in the booklet, for yourself, whether you buy them or you print them off, do the charts. Fill out the charts. Fill out the section on page 2, the first page on the inside that has your list of.
In fact, that's exactly what I was thinking. Gosh, if I wanted to, I could go and just print that, and then also print my story part.
Yeah, you can just print
that would be very helpful.
Because just do it because you want to do these. These will do nothing but help you. These will do nothing but help you. So so you could just print off, read the rest of the material and come back to it over and over again. But if you print off those 2 pages, then you're already making an effort and making a step towards the next step towards building your business and solidifying what your story is. Because when you solidify what your story is, then you're going to be able to share it. And when you're able to share it, and it flows. I mean, the more you share your story, the more it just flows. Because it's like, yeah, before oils, my life was like this. Here's what it's like now. Here, it rolls. I mean, pretty soon. I mean, and sometimes your story will fluctuate and change depending on who you're with. That sometimes you may share certain experiences with other people, and some people you may share different ones. So I encourage you guys to do those 2 activities because start hosting some classes, because it is, as it gets nicer and summer starts coming out, it's fun to do classes. And speaking of classes, we do have some big stuff coming up that I'm excited about. I was just talking to Sandy this morning, and we're working on some events for tentatively the 2nd week of June, that week of the 11th through the 15th. They're planning on coming this way with their family, possibly, maybe. We're still working out dates and details, but we're tentatively planning on Steve teaching a men's class, a men's essential oil / business class on like Thursday, and then doing a general open product training / business training open for everybody on Friday, and then doing a huge team customer appreciation barbecue, just something fun at the park that's going to be open to everybody. So it's going to be open to everybody on the team. Doesn't matter who enrolled who. Everyone is welcome, and we'll do some food. We'll play at the park. Let the kids play in the splash pad and just have some fun. Just make it like a fun team gathering. And of course, if you have somebody that's interested in oils, bring them. There'll be dozens and dozens of oil users. So what better way to get somebody involved than to talk to a handful of other oil users, and even have someone there who does the business full time, because Steve and Sandy do the business full time between both of them. They're 6-figure earners with doTERRA. They support a family of 8, and so they've got some really good successes that has come from doTERRA. So there's a lot of value that they can share with others. That's why I'm super excited about the men's class, because Steve is such a gem when it comes to explaining, guy stuff within the business, like the how to be super productive in the back office and the business details. I mean, guys, Seth and Steve, they get talking about business stuff and they can just they're in their own little world. So anyways, so yeah, we got some fun stuff coming down the pipe this summer, and some other fun activities we'll get going on. But anyways, so that's the share guide in a nutshell. Daisy, did you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay. Janine?
No, I'm good to go.
Okay. Well, I realize the time. It's 9:48, so I'm sorry I kept you guys on so late. So yeah, so next week we'll go ahead and we'll go over the build guide, and we'll share all that good stuff.
Okay.
So, till then, anybody else who has questions on this can go ahead and message on the page. And if I don't see it, I know somebody else will, and we can definitely get those questions answered for you. Okay, so we will talk to you guys soon. If you have any other questions before then, you can always feel free to message me.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay, night, guys.
Night.
Night.